Thank you, Commissioner Ryan, for making time to talk to me this afternoon. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Portland Children's Levy, which is up for renewal. Can you tell voters a little bit about what the levy is about and what you're seeking to have renewed?
Yeah, the Portland Children's Levy has been, this will be the fifth renewal. It started in 2002. And Commissioner Dan Saltzman, it's his legacy here to Portland City Council. And we wanted to have some consistent funding for those organizations that are always there for children and youth in the area that really provide the wraparound, the extended learning that's necessary for our children and youth beyond the bell schedule of the schools. So evenings and summers and weekends. And it's been solid and true for years. It has a very consistent formula. It's basically 40 cents per 1,000 is the rate, and that's remained consistent. The about 23 million a year, actually this year it's up to around 27 million, goes out. It has really strict and transparent systems in place. So it's a competitive process to get the proposals. And then when you have the grants for 3 years, there's an annual review. In fact, I was in a meeting just this week where there were a couple organizations that weren't able to meet their goals, and so proportionally, some of the money was held back. And so I just love that accountability that it offers. Has a 5% administrative fee, and it covers all the areas that you would expect. It covers mentorship, it covers hunger, it covers child abuse prevention. We have focus targeting on foster youth in particular, and also early learning. And so those are the 5 categories. We have an allocation committee that has city and county leadership. I share that with Chair Jessica Vega Peterson, and then each one gets to appoint someone from the community. And also we have a business representative on the board. So it's every other month we have a meeting and we meet with the participants who we're funding. We have really candid dialogue, which was so important during COVID because it was quite confusing on how to deliver some of these services. And we saw a lot of need for example, the hunger category. So thank goodness we had a target for that.
So can you give like an example or two of what are the specific kind of programs that someone would see? Like for instance, with hunger, what did the Portland Children's Levy make possible?
It allowed the Oregon Food Bank, sorry, to be actively engaged more directly with the schools. And so out in East Portland, where in fact 43% of our funding in the Portland Children's Levy is for east of 82nd, which has really dramatically increased over the years that this has been in effect. So the Reynolds School District partners with, for example, the Oregon Food Bank to continue to help stock their food pantries for their families, which even though there was a school shutdown, we needed to have those systems remain active. And so by financing and supporting the Oregon Food Bank to be a partner with our schools and our nonprofits in that part of town, it allowed it to stay intact during a very important time of need.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You
Yeah.
mentioned one of the areas is early education. Now, voters in 2020 approved the preschool for all tax with Multnomah County, which I checked just a little while ago, raised about 190 million in tax year 2021. So why, I guess, will that inform kind of how the Portland Children's Levy moves forward? Like, will you shift all funding from early education to more hunger programs or youth foster care programs?
Yeah, that conversation is fluid. Chair Jessica Vega Peterson and I have had that conversation several times. It's in motion as we speak. I think the proportionality will definitely will have a shift. For example, we have more mental health crisis needs than ever. So child abuse prevention is, in my opinion, it's spiking in terms of needing more investments there. We're seeing the need for more investments with our foster youth, especially when they hit 18, where the public funds tend to just cut off like a cliff. And how can we provide more of a slope? Because we all know when we raise children that we need to support them until their early 20s at least. And so I think that I know the proportionality will be shifting. there is a conversation that the pre-K for all was building that infrastructure, getting more and more early learning facilities built for Portlanders. And this could definitely be more of a wraparound, just like the levy is right now for schools. So we'll see how it all shapes up. But what I appreciate about Chair Jessica Vega Peterson is she realizes that this is a current conversation that we need to have. And so we will be looking to doing some proportional shifting. But we don't want to just say that it's completely cut, because that's not true at this moment. We have some past grants that are going out. And again, we need to have some thorough dialogue.
Okay. And finally, it seems that levies and bonds in Portland and Multnomah County never go away. They're just renewed. And so what would you tell a voter who sees their property tax bill increase every year, and is facing a lot of affordability concerns, and and that this is, one more area that the city keeps asking for people to give more?
I will say that I have a lot of empathy for that. Everyone is hearing that from their friends and neighbors. I will say that the term renewal is a good one, because we haven't changed the rate. And what the impacts that COVID has had on society in general, but especially on our children and youth, has been quite devastating. Portland and Oregon had some of the longer lockdowns, some of the longer periods of virtual learning. The data, the math, the science, the reading scores have all been hit quite hard, especially for children and youth that we have always needed to target, that have less support from in their families in terms of resources. And so now would be it's such an important time now to renew this investment, because our children and youth are the most important investment in our city. That is our long-term economic and prosperity plan. And Dan Saltzman was right to get that into our system in 2002. And it's my job to continue that legacy and be on their shoulders to make sure that we renew this at this time of great need.
Great. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate you making time to talk with me today about this.
No, you're so welcome. Thanks for the opportunity to get people excited, hopefully, about renewing this investment for our children.
Great. Thank you.